How's it going out there, American truckers? Welcome to Trucking with Old Snapper. And of course, I'm Old Snapper for those of you that don't know. I'm over here at the Crete Terminal in Wilmer, Texas. I need to get my truck worked on. My dash is doing some weird things and shooting out some. It keeps giving me a check engine light, then it'll go away, telling me I have low coolant, but I don't have low coolant. Air alarm keeps coming on even when it's completely full on the air side. All that kind of stuff, I don't know if it's a loose wire, if it's a sensor or the computer, but something's wrong with the truck. So I'm gonna get them to look at it right quick. I just emptied out about 100 miles south of here and ran up here to the yard so I can get this looked at probably in the morning. I'm also gonna go redo my eye exam and all that, get a new set of glasses and stuff. But anyway, I got a ton of emails, which reminds me, I got more emails than I got subscribers by a long shot. So if you're watching this, please subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notified when new videos come out. Hit the like button if you like the video, the down button if you don't like the video. All that kind of stuff. Leave a comment. I like to know who's watching the channel. I do communicate. I do read them. And if you have a question, I will answer you back if I can. But anyway, what I got a ton of emails on over the last couple of days has been this vaccination mandate thing. Now, as you know, I don't get real political on here, and I'm not going to get real political with this video either. All I'm going to say with that is, if you want the vaccine, go get it. If you don't want it, don't go get it. I do believe in people having choices. You want choice, do what you need to do. I'm not for taking anybody's choices away in anything that they have in life. I mean, we got people on the streets of San Francisco that have made the choice that they want to live on heroin. And for some reason, society's okay with that, so why not? I smoke cigarettes. It's my choice. You don't have to do that either. You know what I'm saying? I believe everybody should have a choice. I do believe mandating it might be a little bit overboard and possibly a violation of some constitutional rights medically, specifically number 10, I believe, but I'm no expert in all that, and I'm not even going to get into all that. I'll take this another way. I believe that this is going to hurt mega carriers tremendously. As some of y'all know, I have an organization of drivers called American Truckers United. Within that organization, we're up to about 1,600 members. Out of 1,600 members, there's more than 1,000. I have more than 1,000, alright, that have chosen not to get vaccinated. They're waiting. They're not against it. They're just waiting. They want to give it a few years and see what the long-term effects are, which is fine. Alright. And that's quite a bit. And that's just in my organization. So I can just imagine how many drivers out there total or not. I do know some that are. And that's fine. That's your choice. That's your decision, I don't care either way. I know there are some politicians who have tried to create a division within the country. First they tried with race. That didn't work. Then they tried with the whole gender thing. That didn't work. So now they're trying with this vaccination thing, trying to pit vaccinated people against non-vaccinated people. I don't believe in that either. I love all people. We're all out here. I mean, we're all living our life. You know what I'm saying? If you made the choice, you did the research on it, and you made the choice that was best for you, hey, that's great. More power to you, whether you got it or don't have it. It doesn't matter. Don't care. Now, with most of these emails, people are scared to death, man. I mean, drivers like, man, what are we going to do? where are we going to go? Or man, I'm going to have to go home. No, you're not. You ain't got to quit trucking. All this did was guarantee that the mega carriers are fixing to lose some of their fleet. These mega carriers out here probably fixing to drop a few hundred drivers, maybe a little more. Each one of these companies are probably fixing to lose a few hundred drivers. There'll be some drivers that go and get vaccinated, and there'll be a chunk of them that don't. They'll go to smaller companies. As most of y'all know, I do have connections within the broker world. One of the nice things about the broker world is brokers have access to things that we don't have access to. And literally, a broker can pull up a city, they can pull up a radius, search trucking companies, and bring them up, instantly. That's one of the tools they use to cover loads. And they can bring them up by size. And I got one of my friends to email me a list. And all he did was do a couple of cities around the country. He did Orlando, Florida, Houston, Texas, I believe Louisville, Kentucky. But let me give you an example. Just out of Houston, Texas, trucking companies larger than 10 trucks, less than 50 trucks, which is going to put you under 100 total employees, because you can figure, one office person for every 5 trucks or every 10 trucks. That's going to still put you under 100 employees, so not within that mandate. Just in the Houston area, there were 3,200 companies that came up within a 150-mile radius of Houston, Texas. Now, granted, that's flatbed, dry box, reefer, concrete, oil field. That's every trucking company within that whole area, 150 miles of Houston. So you got to think that's all trucking companies. Now, I can go through the list and separate them out. All the dry box carriers, there might be 5 or 6 or 10 of them. There might be 50 or 60 reefer companies, because there's a lot of reefer companies around there. Some of them are going to be roll-off companies. Some of them are going to be concrete companies, construction companies that got 2 or 3 trucks. So on and so forth. But I'm telling you, there ain't no reason in the world to be nervous at all. None whatsoever. There are a ton of companies out here, and I mean a ton. The email is so large that the list is it just goes, it's endless. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to answer all these emails individually, so I figured I would make a video on this. But here's what I'm going to do. Alright. I'm going to go through the list. I'm going to contact a few companies around the country. And I'm probably going to, I don't know how many I'm going to do. But later this week, I'm going to produce a video. And I'm going to feature, between 5 and 10 companies that have less than 100 total employees, that pay good, treat their drivers good, have good benefits, have nice trucks. But I'm going to tell you about their companies. That way, if you are one of these people that are worried about where you're going to go, don't worry about it. And if you want a copy of the list, you let me know. You send me an email. I will attach the list to a separate email and send it to you. And you can have the full list of the thousands of companies. And you can go through there and pick you out a company. Okay? But I just want y'all to know, man, don't worry about it. Don't stress over it. It ain't a big deal. You're not going to have to hang your keys up and go home. You're not going to be without a job. None of that. You're just going to have to leave the big company if you don't want to follow the mandate. There's a real strong possibility that there's going to be changes that come out to the mandate, because it's pretty broad. People that are allergic to seafood can't get the vaccine. Certain people with certain kinds of health conditions can't get the vaccine, and none of them are listed in there at all. They did say that if you could get tested once a week instead of getting the vaccine, but there's no way if you're an OTR driver, it'd be pretty difficult as an OTR driver for the company to provide testing for you once a week. Here's something else. I did a little bit of research. If a company requires you to go get it, that to pay you to go get it. If you have any effects from it, like you catch a little bit of sickness like you do with some vaccines, they have to pay you while you're home going through whatever the side effects are of the vaccine. That I did look up. And that you can look up yourself. I Googled it and it came right up. So must be a pretty common thing. So that's going to cost companies a lot of money too. Paying drivers to sit at home for a week or two while they're waiting to get to feeling better after getting the vaccine if they have any side effects from it. So don't stress over it. Don't worry about it. There's plenty of places to go. I mean, literally, as most drivers know, you can be working for another company in the time it takes to do a 34-hour restart. Some companies, especially your smaller companies, you can already be in a truck making money in the time it takes to do a 34-hour restart. Ain't nothing to stress over. I ain't stressed over it a bit. It just changes where I work. It changes the name on the door. That's all it does. I'm still going to be making a living, and I'm still going to be doing what I love. I do have a little bit of sympathy for these larger companies because they're already, some of these larger companies are already hurting for drivers. And now they're just fixing to make it harder on them, so I just did a video about a truck driver shortage. If you hadn't seen that, that's the last video I did yesterday, I believe, or the day before. So all they're doing is making life harder on these larger companies. You take Swift, CR England, Crete, GP Transco. I mean, you take these big companies that are already offering big bonuses and doing all kinds of things, whatever they can do to try to get a driver in the door. And now they're going to limit them even more on getting a driver in the door. Doesn't make any sense. But hey, that's not my job. That's not my deal. So, anyway, hope all of y'all are staying safe out there. Give me about 2, maybe 3 days. I'll have you a list put together and I will produce that video. And doesn't mean you got to go there, but just in case they do enforce it and you don't want to, you want to keep your choice, your right to choose, you'll have a starting point on some options. And and those of y'all that follow me, old snapper, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna give it to you straight. I'll tell you, I work at Crete and I've got videos about bad days at Crete and good days at Crete. I'll tell you regardless. So I'm not gonna lead you down no BS. But I'll give you as much information as I can find out about these companies, these small companies. And you can make a decision on your own. If you know a small company you'd like me to look into, make a comment. I'll check them out. If you'd like the list, you can email me. My email information's down there in the description. And I'll gladly email you a list of these companies. Now you'll have to dig through them. Like if you want to run dry box or reefer or whatever, you'll have to dig through them, find those companies that are in that list and pull them out. But everybody be safe. Don't worry. Take care. Remember, we're all a family out here. We're all doing the same job. We spend more time with each other than we do with our families at home. We give these companies a large portion of our life. And we take care of society, man. Remember when they were running out of toilet paper, they asked us to run. They were hoping we wouldn't stop. They depend on us, just like we depend on them. It's a working relationship. Y'all take care. Keep it between the lines. Love all of y'all. Keep trucking.